Om Namo Narayana and welcome back. Today we are reading chapters 73 and 74 of Book 1 of the Ramayana. 73 is called the marriage celebration. On the day when the king gave away the cows in charity, that day the valorous Yudhajit, the uncle of Bharatha, arrived. He was the son of the king of Kakaya and uncle of Bharatha. After seeing and inquiring about his welfare, he said to King Dasartha, "My father, the king of Kakaya, inquired about your welfare. As for the people whose welfare you would ask about, they are well. O Indra of all kings, my father wished me to see the lady of our family, and so I went to Ayodhya. Hearing that you have arrived in Mithila along with your sons for their marriage, I came speedily here to see the son of my sister." Then King Dasartha accorded him great hospitality and also extended proper honours to him. Thereafter, spending the night with his illustrious sons, King Dasartha, who knew his duties, woke up at dawn, completed his morning rituals, reached the sacrificial place, preceded by the sages. At the auspicious time, Rama, along with his brothers, all of them completely adorned by various ornaments, after having performed the rituals preceding the marriage, with Vashista and other great sages walking ahead of him, reached his father's presence. The godlike Vashista approached King Janaka and spoke the following: "O king, O great man, King Dasartha has performed all rites preparatory to the marriage along with his sons, and is waiting for the one who would give them to the brides. All other rituals of marriage only when the giver and receiver meet together, and so fulfill your duty by performing the auspicious marriage." After the great Vashista, who was exceedingly generous, told like this, King Janaka, who had great lustre, and one who follows the tenets of Dharma strictly, replied: "Did any guard prevent you? To whose command are you waiting for? Why this hesitation to enter your own house? For this kingdom is like your kingdom. My daughters, who have performed all the rites preceding the marriage, and are shining like the flame of a fire, have already arrived at the foot of the altar. I am keeping myself ready, and am waiting for you. We would proceed further without any problems, and why should there be any further delay?" Having heard the words spoken by King Janaka, Dasartha made his sons, as well as many sages, enter the marriage arena. Afterwards King Janaka, the king of Videha, spoke these words to sage Vashista: "O lord who observes Dharma, O sage, along with other sages, be pleased to perform the marriage ceremony so that the whole world is happy." The godlike sage Vashista addressed King Janaka and said, "Let it be so." He, along with the sage Viswamitra and the virtuous Satyananda, reached the center of the marriage arena and constructed an altar according to the scriptures. He decorated the altar with fragrant flowers, golden pots with holes, earthenware pots with water and sprouts, pots for holding incense, conch-shaped vessels, sacrificial bowls, water pots for offering arghya, vessels containing puffed rice, and well-prepared sacred rice. Then the illustrious godlike sage Vashista, according to tradition, placed equal quantity of durba grass around the altar, recited mantras according to scriptures, and started a fire in the altar by placing fire on it, and started giving oblations. Then King Janaka, having brought Sita adorned with all types of ornaments in the presence of the fire, placed her facing Rama, and spoke to Rama, who was filled with joy: "This girl Sita, who is my daughter, would be traveling with you in your journey to observe Dharma. Please accept her hand and hold it with yours. May there be safety to both of you. This great, lucky, and virtuous Sita would always follow you like your shadow." Saying this, along with the chanting of mantras, he released sanctified water into the hands of Rama. Then all the devas and sages said, "Great, great," and the divine drums were played, and there was a rain of flowers. Then King Janaka, having given Sita Rama, along with the sanctified water, shed tears of joy and said, "O Lakshmana, please come. Urmila is ready to be given to you. Please accept her hand and hold it with your hand. Let there be no delay in doing it." After speaking like this to Lakshmana, Janaka addressed Bharatha and said, "O son of Raghu clan, please hold the hand of Mandavi." King Janaka then addressed Shatrugna and said to him, "O great hero, please hold Srutha Kiri's hand in yours. O sons of the Kakustya dynasty, all of you possess good conduct. have a gentle disposition, and are faithful to your vows, without any delay start living with your wives." After hearing the words of King Janaka, after taking the consent of Vashishta, those four took the hands of their wives in their hands. Those great and good sons, accompanied by their wives, in obedience to the sage, went round the sacred fire in the altar and entered into matrimony. When the sons were holding the tender and soft hands of their wives with immense splendor, there was a rain of flowers from the sky. Accompanied by the playing of divine drums, there was the sound of various musical instruments also to be heard. A group of Apsaras danced, and the Gandhavara sang, and it was a wonderful occasion. When the tunes of wind instruments were making the sweet music, those lustrous brothers went round the fire 3 times and got married. Thereafter the sons, along with their wives, went toward their residences, accompanied by the king, hosts of sages, and relations. Thus ends this chapter. Chapter 74 is called Ayodhya Journey. After the night was spent, the great sage Viswamitra, after blessing the sons of the Raghu clan, took leave of those 2 kings and went towards the northern mountains. After the departure of Viswamitra, King Dasartha, who causes happiness to all people, took leave of King Janaka, the king of Mithila, and steadily went home towards Ayodhya. While they were going, King Janaka followed them a certain distance, and the king of Videha gave many presents to his daughters. The king of Mithila gave them several crores of cows, several excellent carpets, crores of silk dresses, elephants, horses, chariots, and infantry, and also well-decorated, excellent female and male servants, possessing divine beauty. That greatly pleased one also gave them matchless dowry in the form of golden ornaments with lustre, decorated by pearls and corals. The king of Mithila, after having given them plenty of wealth, and after taking leave of King Dasartha, went back to his home. The king of Ayodhya also left along with his sons, and the sages going in the front, and the servants and the others following. That tiger among men, along with his sons and sages, noticed that the birds were making sounds of fear here and there. All the animals of that place went to their right in a clockwise fashion. Having seen this, King Dasartha approached the sage and asked, "Why are the frightened birds as well as the suffering deer going round us? I am in great fear, my heart is trembling, and I am depressed in spirits." The sage Vashishta heard these words of the king and said, "I shall listen to the noises and tell you. The sounds released by the birds indicate an event of divine nature. The dreadful sound made by the animals indicate that they are restoring peace, and so do not get worried." When they were talking with each other, the earth started shaking, and a great wind started blowing, which made many trees fall to the ground. Darkness enveloped the sun, and there was no shining of it to be seen in any direction. The entire army was covered with ashes and looked as if it had fainted. But sage Vashishta, the other saints, King Dasartha, and his sons retained their consciousness. All the others lost their consciousness. In that fearful darkness the army looked as if it was covered by ashes, and King Dasartha saw the descendant of sage Bhrigu, looking dreadful with his matted hair and crown, who was inaccessible like the Kailasa mountains, who had killed several kings of kings, who was difficult to endure due to his shine, like the fire at the time of the deluge, whose power was burning ordinary men and making him difficult to see, who was carrying an axe on his shoulder, who was carrying a bow similar to a series of lightning, and also an arrow, and who looked like Lord Shiva, who had come to destroy Tripura. Seeing him, who was fearful in appearance, with the looks of flaming fire that was raging, Vashishta and the others, who were experts in chanting mantras and oblations in fire, assembled in one place and whispered among themselves. Enraged by the slaughter of his father, was he not intent upon exterminating the race of Kshatriyas? Earlier, by slaughtering the Kshatriyas, he got himself freed from anger and sorrow. Is he again desirous of killing Kshatriyas? After the saints had talked among themselves, they offered water to wash the feet of Bhargava's sons, who had a fearsome appearance, and started speaking to him in soft and sweet words. That valiant son of Jamadagni, after accepting the worship offered by the saints, started speaking to Rama. And thus ends this chapter, and it looks like we have one final adventure after the wedding. It dawned on me as I was reading this, the king gave servants as a gift. Could you imagine coming home from your wedding day and not just do you have to find a place for your bride or your future husband or your new husband, but you also now have a whole array of servants that you have to fit into your house and feed? Anyways, I'm not going to add any more. Of course, as always, you are welcome to. I thank you always for supporting me and supporting this channel. And Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.